G'day everyone, welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'll be Nat, this will be my Knackers Yard. And you might be able to hear me at last. Now I've been messing around with my audio for a while because I can never quite get it right. I invested in some second-hand posh stuff, some Rode stuff. And over the last few uploads, when I've been pulling the videos together, I've been noticing that my voice was clearer when I was holding the phone. And that was weird because it shouldn't be, because the microphone is this. Well, I've actually got the little lavalier thing tucked away because I thought I'd try it out. I did a bit of fault finding yesterday evening, and it was everything was showing fine on the receiver, on the transmitter, all good. Thought it might be the phone, had a bit of a mess around. Then I tried changing the cable from the receiver to the phone and it seems to work, because look, you can still hear me. It doesn't make any difference when I walk away, which is kind of cool. Yeah, what a week that was. I have done an upload on a riding upload, and that spouts crap piece on Peter Mandelson and Charlie Kirk. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to put it out, to be honest. It's not really what the channel's about, and I may do, I may not. Lots of bouncing around last week. Still busy in the new job. I'm away next week. I'm actually going to the US next week, which is going to be weird. It's the first time I've ever felt nervous about going to the US. That probably says something about it, but I'll be in Baltimore, just outside of Washington, for a few days with work stuff. So anyway, that's an aside. Bikes, I want to get on with Daryl and with Daryl's engine, but with a lot of bouncing around that I've got, I just don't really have the time to get on it hard, which is what I want to do. I might take this, I'm waving because it's just off camera. I might just peel the lid off so I can remember the parts that I should have changed but bodged, that probably need to change, so I can at least get those on order. But I'm not going to play with it today. There's a reason why. That reason why goes back to Ivan, my ER6N, so my day bike, if you like, my commute bike. Now regular viewers will know that I've moved jobs again. I'm closer, I don't have to go into central London, etc, etc. My pattern of work has changed, my carriage has changed. I need a bigger box. So what I have been using is an itty bitty one, which is quite nice. I hate boxes on bikes. I think they look awful, generally. So I went black rather than the big, like, normal helmet shaped, you know, top box type thing. So I went for the little box, but unfortunately it's just not big enough for what I'm using it for, particularly now I'm coming to the winter and it's routinely going to have wet kit in it. So I've had to go bigger. So let me move you and I'll show you what I've got and therefore what I think I need to do. Okay, so there's Otto with his new box on. It's not ridiculous, but it's bigger. I don't need helmet storage, but I do need more backwards and forwards storage. So, you know, kind of got a before and after. I prefer the look of the little one, obviously, but it's just too small for what I need. I wear a backpack as well, and I found myself really packing that out. Now, bearing in mind that I tend to carry clothes, they were getting all screwed up. So I just needed something bigger. So a 30 quid box, it's fine, you know. I wanted it black rather than aluminium, but what I definitely need to do is trim down the bolts. But what I also feel I need to do is, I've come, how do you say, further back, and I'm really starting to obscure my rear light, and I'm getting a bit concerned about that. The reason I'm getting concerned about that is Burbs commuting. Now, Burbs commuting, I think, is more dangerous than inner city commuting. I think people are more alert in the inner city. in the Burbs, and I'm trying not to sound sexist here because that's not my intention, but it is school traffic. I think, my personal point of view, and most school runs are done by school run mum. That's a grim reality. School run mums tend to be shorter than most men. Round here it's a relatively well-to-do area, and they all seem to be in huge vehicles. Most new cars nowadays tend to be SUV type things, really, don't they? And Land Rovers, so they're up high, and I can't see my lights. Now when it's dark, obviously it radiates more. In fact, I've got a couple of photos that I took when it was dark in the garage, and I'll drop them in the corner, probably down here, while I'm talking rubbish. But yeah, I'm really starting to obscure, and I don't like it. I don't think it's a legal thing. It's got rear lights, it works. It's got a brake light, it works. It's just a personal thing, I think. Now, what I've thought of, let me see if I can find it. I didn't initially want to spend any money because it's tight. So what I found was an old light that I had anyway, and I was thinking something like that would probably do me fine. But what I've also found is like the cheapy strip lights, which I'm thinking of putting somewhere. Now they're not here yet, either way, they're not here yet. They should arrive later on in the day, but I certainly need to, or want to, lock the bolts because I don't need them as long. And I also need to chase some wiring out. So I think that's what I'll do first while I'm waiting for them to arrive. Once they're here, I'll make the choice. But that's a cheapy brake light unit that I got for something. I've plugged it in, I powered it up, and it works. I can't remember what I bought it for, but anyway, it's, the strip lights that I've got coming were £9, I think. But I'll once they're here, I'll have a look and I'll make a call. But until then, I need to take that box off. I'm going to mark off where the bolts, where I can currently cut the bolts, take that box off, and then start chasing a bit of wiring, I think. Right, so the normal much time lid error, and the reason it's much time, one, my bits haven't turned up yet, excuse me, post has not been, I have stripped it down. If you can see the cleanest bolt there, and I took it all apart, it was that pulled through, essentially it holds the tail tidy on, and it was just getting a bit, I thought that's a bit pulley, and it snapped through, that's all it was. So I didn't have to weld it, fortunately. I just chucked the bolt through, and we're good. So that's all good. Right, so more importantly, more pertinently, I don't think I did this properly, or it must have been me because that's my tape. When I sorted out the tail tidy, because it was hanging on when I first got it, basically, and you have to do some dismantlement to get stuff on and off. So I've cut the wires and fixed them before, but now I'm doing this a bit more properly. You can see, so from the light unit at the back, there's the cable there into the socket. 1, 2, 3 wires in, so that makes sense. That is neutral, brake, and running light. And then I've got the second wire, which I've chased through from the indicators, which is going into there. So I'm just going to confirm that. Let me see if we can plug you up. Oop, that'll do. I'll try and unplug the rear light. I seem to remember getting, oh, that socket's broken on the side. Never mind. So let's get the light. Which I have put down somewhere safe, like a moron. There we go. Let's get the light. Give the bike some beans. I could look up in the wiring diagram, but I could just stick things in and guess. So I'm assuming that is probably the earth. That's the running light, that's the brake light. Let's just come off. So got black and yellow is earth, red is the running light. You're in the way for my brake. I'll see if I can work round you. Nope, I'm going to kick the camera over. Yeah. So we've got blue is brake, red is running, black is neutral. I've got the socket from ER. I think what I'm going to do is slice up, splice in 3 wires, run it up to a socket at the back, and then when I get the proper light I can just plug it in, and there's a enough of a drop that I can hide stuff in just off screen. There. So let's get on with that, and I'll drop you. I'm trying to think if I can just pull these pins out. That would be an easier way of doing it. I'll have a look, and then I will move on to indicators. All right, quick retreat because we just had a load of rain, but so I've branched up to the top, bled in 3 wires out. I'm now going to look for the indicators, do much the same, see if I can get that in the same area. Then I want to chuck a plug on it, and then keep waiting for this pissing stuff to be delivered. The post is still not here. Bugger. Again, much time later. I've just been chasing an error with my indicators, and I've worked it out. It was a broken bit of cable. Yeah, it's an old bike. These things happen, but that took fucking forever. But on the bright side, they've arrived. I thought about putting them on the box. I thought they looked a bit wanky, frankly. I thought about adding the indicators because these are indicators as well on the edge, but with the box I've got no problems with the indicators. That's not my problem. It was the reversing light, so I'm going to keep it simple. Reversing light, shut up you fool. It was the brake light and the rear light, so I'm going to keep it simple and just do those. And what I've done is, the sticky on the back of these sorts of things is always crap, so a bit of industrial Velcro, the family fave, and there you go. Now the box does overhang it a bit, but I'm happier with that than I am sticking it to that box. I just think it would look awful, and there is an element of form and function going on, but so be it. Right, I'm gonna essentially graft onto here. I might use a connector block. I might just twist it on, to be honest. It's so flimsy because it's just cheap Chinese stuff. Right, let's get that going and we'll see how it looks. Ta-da! Right, so got the plug in. It's actually reasonably neat for me. I'm quite impressed with myself. All good. Got the extra light there. Works on the brake. Right, spent ages doing this. Let's get this box on. Right, and there we go. Now, apologies, my being so pleased about my microphone, it's just run out. The battery's run out, but power on. Got a ready light. You've got a brakey light. Now, I know it's not a lot, but it makes a difference. It really does. Now you're at a nice low point there, but you bearing in mind that I'm on a slope. Most cars around me are 4x4s and sat quite high. That should help. Cool, done, dusted. I have got some lights to chuck on the front, but they haven't arrived yet either. But I am just essentially trying to turn this into a slightly more of a Burbs commuter rather than the little London machine it was before. But I'm happy with that. Cheers all. I'll catch you later on. Ta-da.